Hey, if you like my videos, please subscribe to my videos. I would really appreciate it. I mean, no pressure or anything, but you know, I would really appreciate the subscriptions. And if you love my videos enough to share them with your favorite people who love reselling or who love vintage or who just like, you know, I don't know, who are like-minded like all of us, then I would appreciate the shares too, because the closer we can get to 1,000 people, then maybe we can do some live sales or something like that. So I would appreciate the shares. I appreciate the follows, the subscriptions, whatever. So thanks you guys for subscribing to my channel. Thank you guys for all of the wonderful reach outs and support and everything with what happened last week with Scout and everything. It really warmed my heart and it really made me feel good. So thank you guys. Hey, how's it going, everybody? So I don't normally see a what sold on vintage jewelry or vintage clothing or anything like that. So I figured might as well try one and let me know what you guys think, if you think it's useful or not, and we'll go from there. And Angel says hello, and we'll see how you guys like it. And if you don't like it, then just let me know and I won't do another one. And if you do find it useful, then we'll keep on doing it. And I'll do one, let's say maybe like every week. And I'll let you guys know what sold. And I'm going to do it on the things that sold on Whatnot too, because I never see things that sell on Whatnot on any type of video. So I'll give you my best sells on Whatnot as well as what sells on the other platforms too. So let's start with Whatnot, because I sell the most probably on Whatnot as opposed to other platforms. So I'll give you like my best sales on Whatnot for certain items. I'm not going to give you everything because I sell a ton on Whatnot, and a lot of it are small dollar items. But I do sell a lot of items, a lot of pieces of jewelry for higher dollar amounts. So I'll give you those. So let's start. Okay, so we're going to start with this brooch. It is a fall floral swag brooch. I do believe it is a Juliana brooch. And my cost of goods on this one was a little, I paid up for it. I think it was probably, it worked out. I bought several at one time. I believe it was probably close to $20, and I did sell it for $40. So not too bad. One thing that I will say, and I don't mind maybe a lower ROI or return on investment for Whatnot, is that I don't have as much work going into the sales, meaning I don't have to spend the time on photographing, editing the photos, writing descriptions, that kind of thing. I can pretty much just like take a quick photograph, put it in my Whatnot store, and then like just kind of go with it. So I can pretty much just double the money on it. Like, so if I spend 20, I can sell for 40. They do take about 10% plus the PayPal fee, but still it's a pretty good return. My payout on it was $35.23. So for a $20 investment, I got $15.23. I'll take it. I had it for less than a day. So I'm good with that. So, and on Whatnot, they pay the patients. Jeez, I'm still in dental, right? The customers pay for shipping. So I'm good with that one. Okay, next one on Whatnot is this Sarah Coventry AB opal brooch. It's really pretty. It's this really cute, you can see it in the picture. It's kind of like a flower with the opalescent center. It's sold for $13. My payout on it was $11.24. I got this in an auction lot, and I think my cost of goods in this one was less than $1. So that's a really good ROI. Okay, this next one, one of my favorite brooches I probably have ever gotten, It is a square ravioli center brooch. And it sold for $25. My payout on it was $21.81 on Whatnot. And I, again, auction lot. Cost of goods on it probably less than $1, maybe $1-ish. It was a pretty large lot, and this brooch was absolutely stunning. I did try to sell it on eBay first. It did not sell on eBay, but it sold on Whatnot, and I waited a bit for it to sell, but it did sell. On Whatnot, people will buy it for a higher price. You don't have to go just, a lot of people will just say, oh, you guys start everything at $2 or $5 or whatever, but you can sell it for whatever you want it to sell at. You just have to wait for the right buyer. And once people realize that you're not somebody that's going to sell everything at $2 or start everything at $2, they'll just learn that that's who you are, and then they'll eventually buy from you. As long as you know what you're talking about and stuff. So I've got a nice following, I guess, now on Whatnot, and people trust me, and they trust that I know what I'm talking about, and they buy at my prices, and I'm great with it. So yeah, I was really happy to get that for that particular brooch. Okay, my next item, this bracelet, it is an Amadeo cameo bracelet. Amadeo is a cameo maker out of Italy. It is not very vintage, to be honest. And this particular bracelet is just stunning. These bracelets are sold in Saks Fifth Avenue, Bergdorf, those types of places. They did have a line that also was sold on HSN or QVC or one of those. And this bracelet sold for $40. My payout on it was $35.12. And I believe my cost of goods on this was maybe around 10 or 12. It was not that bad. I really don't remember my cost of goods on this, but it was really not too bad. Love this bracelet though. Beautiful. But I know I made a fair amount on this one. Okay, next is, and the last one for Whatnot is this brooch. It is a rhinestone crown. This is what I believe to be an unmarked B. David brooch. I'm not positive. Don't quote me on it. But it definitely looks exactly like the B. David brooches that you see out there. And it is stunning. And this one sold for $18. My payout on it was $15.72. Now, B. David brooches do go for much, much higher, but this was unmarked. I don't know that it was B. David. But my cost of goods on this one, again, less than $1 because it came in an auction lot. There were so many things in that particular lot. And I think I got the lot for around $10. And there was probably maybe 20 pieces in that particular lot. And that was really the only piece exactly that I cared about, was that rhinestone brooch. But I've already sold a few things out of that lot, and definitely made up my money on that lot. So that was everything from Whatnot that I want to go over. So really great deals on Whatnot. Okay, let's move on to eBay. Okay, not a great week on eBay last week, but the first item was this vintage bohemian canvas burlap embroidered tote bag with rope handles. I definitely had this bag forever. Glad it finally sold. I took a best offer. And this was another one that came in an auction lot probably over a year ago. And was really happy just to get rid of it. And I sold it for $20. Okay, next one, eBay. Silver and malachite Jerusalem cross vintage pendant. Stamped silver on the reverse. And this one sold for $46.75. This one is really pretty, vintage. I got this in an estate buyout, and my cost of goods on this one was really low. I think because I bought so many things from this particular estate, I think this ended up being like $2 over the course of the entire buyout. So yeah, only about like $2. I definitely have already made my money back on this particular estate. So this was just a, you know, basically an extra. And in fact, I just sold another piece yesterday out of that estate too for a lot of money. And so that was like really kind of nice too. And that'll be in another video if we decide to continue these. So yeah, that was awesome. Okay, next item was this Versace Classic Vintage Black Asymmetrical Mock Neck One Shoulder Sleeveless Top. Price on it was $110. And I sold it actually only in maybe about 2 months. And I paid $30 for it, and I sold it for $110. So I was really happy. And that was a great sale. So, and it was a full price sale. So I mean, I was really thrilled with that one. Okay, now for Poshmark. The first item is a Flora Vintage Black Long Nightgown Slip Dress with sequin detail. And this one sold for $25. My earnings on it was only $12.03, but I think my cost of goods on it was like $4. I hate Poshmark at times because their fees are so high, but you know, I mean, it is what it is. But it was really, I mean, it was pretty, and this was a piece that had gotten sold and was returned, and I never actually took it out of the package, so all I had to do was just slap another label on it. So I was like, whatever, I'll just take the offer. So I think I had like $32 on it, and they offered me $25, so I just took it. The next Poshmark sale was a retro vintage lucite resin moonglow floral bangle bracelet. This one I was actually surprised to get as much as I got on it. There was no offer whatsoever. They just purchased it outright. And I had $28 on it, and I got $14.43. I had free shipping on it for some reason. So I got $14.43 on it, but still, I think I only paid like $2 for the bracelet. But hey, it was cool. I mean, cool, whatever. I got $14.43, and the bracelet was cool, but yeah, I was actually surprised on that one. And then I sold the Versace chain belt on Poshmark last week, and I sold that for $185. I did take a best offer on that one, and I sold it for $185. And my earnings on it was $148, which I had nothing going in on it. I didn't have anything going in, so $148 was my earnings on it, and so that was pretty awesome. And then I had one sale on Etsy, and that was for a Jillian 1980s vintage 100% silk green floral faux wrap dress. And I sold that for $39, and my cost of goods was $12 on that one. And I got that in a auction lot from Live Auctioneers. And that $12 I had already figured in like the shipping and the auction fees and all that. So that was $12 out the door. And so not a bad, you know, return on that one. So yeah, I was pretty happy. So those were my best sales for last week. And I did have some other smaller sales, and you know, especially with Whatnot. All in all, it wasn't a bad week. It was a slower week for me in terms of sales, only because of the whole thing with Scout last week, and with Shane's graduation. So this week it has been better, although I've got this like cold thing going on, so that hasn't been fun. But yeah, so hopefully you guys like this. Hopefully it's helpful to you guys, especially if you're a vintage seller, and let me know what you think. Thanks.